Welcome, everybody. We race tonight at the Monster Mile. It's Dover Motor Speedway. And it's the ARCS Darkside Mustangs A² Cup Series. I'm Carmen alongside me, Kevin Young. Kevin, what a difference a week makes as we get ready for a little bit of short track racing here in Dover, Delaware.
Yep, we went from one very small paperclip-esque short track to a very long super speedway, now to basically another short track here where we'll eat tires for days, and got a self-cleaning backstretch where if you make a mistake, you may end up taking a few with you. But it's going to provide some good racing, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how these drivers handle the Monster Mile and try to conquer Miles the Monster.
Qualifying just started here in Dover. 200 laps is the feature race distance this evening. And Michelle already lighting the tires up, exiting pit lane.
Right, looking drivers coming out. Daniel Michelle in the Rookie of the Year hunt. He's currently out there. Dustin Painter also heading out to the circuit as well, along with Cody Pinnell. So a few drivers making the runs early here, but we know some like to go early in the run, get the lap done quickly. Others like to wait and set it when the time is running thin. So I'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. But right now, Michelle is going to be the trendsetter, and he's going to set the time that the others are going to have to try to beat.
These lap times will go quick. Very short lap times. 22.78 is the first lap set by Daniel Michelle.
James Kerr with a 22.92 for his troubles. See, the second lap could be a little bit quicker. It's going to have to be if he wants to catch Tommy Reynolds, who just went top of the board. And it is not an improvement for Michelle. So first lap was the faster one. And that'll be his 2 laps done.
Wasn't the case for James Kerr, who went faster on his second lap. 22.66.
Just barely bumping Tommy Reynolds out. Tom Reynolds could not improve with that second lap, so he will not be in contention for pole position here at the minute. Now we're watching on board with Seth Wanzing. Wanzing coming around to do his second lap here. Currently only P7 is going to need to find some extra time here. If he wants to get into that top 2, at least find at least 16 tenths to get a front row starting spot here. Coming off of 4, going to keep his foot in it. Can he get past the 22.66? It's going to be an improvement, but just outside the front row. Misses out by less than a few milliseconds, as Tommy Reynolds will still stay on the front row.
You look for the 61 of Josh Gaiman.
Not in the yellow and blue tonight. Already got 1 win this season, 1 at Bristol Dirt, one of the few short tracks we went to so far this calendar year. Looking to try to get a second win and firmly put himself into the playoffs if he can somehow pull that off. Right now, first lap not looking too bad. We'll see as he gets around 3 and 4 here, where he'll be lining up on the tiding charts to set up for a second run. Not a great lap, first opening lap there. Left some time on the table. It's going to have to fly for the second one. Second lap's going to put him on the front row, along with Toby Estes, who, while we were watching this, jumped to the front row as well. So Toby Estes and Joshua Gaiman currently 1-2 respectively. The only drivers still left to put down times. There are still some heavy hitters. Austin Pinnell, Donald Ray on a second run right now. Elthard George, Brandon Featherplace, Cody Riggs, Mulkey, and Garrison. I'll have to wait and see how it goes. We're on board now with Featherplace, coming up to start his first lap here, that number 34.
Obviously, Featherplace still looking for his first win of the season. Very tight at the top, very tight in the playoff race.
Yeah, considering right now he is second in the standings with highest driver without a win. He definitely wants to get one to kind of give himself a bit of a breathing room here just in case more drivers click off wins. So here comes on his first run here. Gonna have to try to beat a 22.6 to try to get in that front row. First lap's gonna be good enough for 9th. And seeing that the second lap has been the improvement lap, wait and see if that 34 can find some time. You can just see, coming off a 2, he's going all for it. Foot down as early as he thinks he can get away with it. That's 3 and 4, second lap. It's quick enough, and it will lock him out on the front row, just barely ahead of Joshua Gaiman. Also, yeah, 22.6 for him, 22.61 for Joshua Gaiman. And that will put Feather Place on the front row with only a few cars left to do times, including the number 27, Jack Mulkey, starting his first run here. Looking good at the very least, and he may have a front row spot. But Mulkey, Alfred George, and Joshua Garrison may try to spoil that party. First lap only good enough for P20 for that 27. Oh, he just went a little too wide. That's probably going to scrub off enough speed. And it's only going to be no improvement actually for him. He'll stay P20. That off 3 and 4 cost him really any chance of improvement. And there's Matthew Leiter when the last cars leave the pit lane. Actually, the last car to leave the pit lane. As he comes up to do his run here, we know for a fact Toby Estes will be locking out a front row spot with him being the last car to set a time. The question is, will it be Toby Estes and Matthew Leiter or Toby Estes and Brandon Featherplace? We'll find out in about basically a minute. First lap's only good enough for P24. He's going to have to find a lot of time here. Wants any chance at the front row. Coming off 3 and 4, cross the line. Does he improve? He does, but only enough for 22nd position. And since he is the last car to set a time, qualifying, even though there is still about 2 minutes and some change left on the clock, is basically done. With Toby Estes and Brandon Featherplace locking out the front row, avoid the heats that the rest of the drivers will have to go to either gain or lose positions out on the track.
Going to be an intense race this evening. Obviously, no NASCAR Cup Series race. It got rained out, moved to Monday at noon. But sun shining and clear skies here for the ARCS Square Cup Series. As we watch Leiter go to pit lane. All 26 cars, excuse me, set lap times.
Yep, you are correct. Since no drivers had any penalties starting the back or anything, they will all have the right to qualify. They will have the right to race to improve or disapprove their times during the heats. It's going to, obviously, no skip here. We're going to let the last 120 let out in the clock here. We're going to give drivers like a last minute check to make sure they get ready for the heats, because the heats can be very chaotic with a lot of drivers trying to gain as much time as they can and much spots as they can for how little laps it's going to be, as it's only going to be 15 laps. Yeah, actually, 10 laps. My mistake. 10 laps for both features here. So not a lot of time to make something happen.
These heats tend to go by really quick. Obviously, no cautions in those heats, so a lot can happen. As time ticks away, it's obviously in the top left of your screen. I want to take a second to get something to drink real quick before Heat 1 begins.
I will probably do the same. And that will do it for qualifying. So we are now ready to start the heats here. We'll take a quick look at the starting order since this is all the drivers that qualified with an odd number, and this will decide the inside line for the main race. You got Joshua Gaiman, Donald Ray locking out the front row here. Seth Wanzing and Tom Sears locking out row number 2 with Kevin Feemster and Ryan Pinnell in row 3. Cody Pinnell and Jeremy Breo in row 4. Jonathan Holmbrink and Jack Mulkey in row 5. And Stefan Oberstadt, last week's winner at Talladega, and Alfred George locking out the last row here for heat number 1.
Taking a look at the stats here as we get ready to go. 7 degrees, the air temp, track temp, 103. Not very often you see concrete get that toasty, but that's where we're at right now. Next to no winds should help the drivers a little bit, but this is a track that eats tires like no other. This and Bristol and Nashville, 3 tracks that are really graining on the tires. Obviously, you're not going to see too much of that in the heats, but drivers will have to figure out how much they can push and how early they can push to make moves happen.
And we've seen throughout this calendar year, we know some drivers really know how to save their tires and get the best life out of it, while other drivers have good short run pace and knowing get the fastest out of the tires early, but then maybe struggle as the tires start to fall off. So if we get some long green flag runs, we'll have to keep a note on drivers that are good at keep conserving their rubber and drivers that may struggle a bit.
Pit road, please.
Oh, is George electing to start this race from the pit lane? Maybe not a bad idea.
Maybe not. I don't hate that call. Because if a few drivers have a problem coming off of 2,
No caution.
you will gain at least a couple spots. One more positive, at least. Even though iRacing may add rain in the future, at least there's no rain today. And clear blue skies. Pace car going to take the hard left into the pit lane. And green flag out in the air, and away we go to start the 10-lap heat. And the outside line got a quick launch there. Is Donald Ray going to well clear going into 1? And Carmen, you still have the track map on the screen.
It wasn't working.
Oh, I guess that explains why. In trouble, Donald Ray here, gonna have to come in the pit lane. A little spin in the back as well.
That was Steven Oberstadt that had a spin.
Mm-hmm. Oberstadt and the 20 of Holmbrink. Joshua Gaiman gonna lead it with Wanzing and Sears fighting hard for second. See just in the background there, a little battle between Cody Pinnell and Ryan Pinnell fighting for 5th. This battle not going away between Wanzing and Sears. Wanzing looked good coming out of 2. But Sears not going to let that 9 get too far ahead here. We're coming to 6 to go here. You can see 61 a game and gets a little bit of breathing room here. 3 tenths over Wanzing. But the fight is heating on, coming in for 3rd. I should say 4th, as at 21 of Feemster is poking and prodding that 14. Probably doesn't help that 50 of Cody Pennell's right behind as well, keeping that 21 on his toes. Four to go here. Wanzing closing the gap on Gaiman. But it's one thing to catch. It's another thing to pass. It looks like Wanzing's going to have to get the run off. Oh, Gaiman clips the wall and he's going to spin. That's going to give Wanzing the lead. Gaiman's going to tap the outside wall there. He'll keep it pointing in the right direction, but that 61's got some good damage. And it just shows one little bad incident can snowball into something else. And 61's
two laps to go.
61's just going to toe the pit lane here, so his heat race is done. Wanzing half a second clear to Sears. Just needs to be cool, calm, and collected in that 9.
And it doesn't bode well for Gaiman's race starting that far back. This is a track where if a car hits the wall, it'll snowball immediately. But the last lap in Heat 1.
There's a reason why they call Dover a self-cleaning racetrack. It just shows. Oh, another car clips the wall there in the background. That's the I think it was the 74 of Breo. But that's not going to affect too much. He'll keep pointed as Seth Wanzing is going to come off 4 and is going to win Heat number 1. We'll start off in row 2 with Sears, Feemster, Pennell, and Breo, rounding out your top 5. And that will transition nicely into Heat 2 here.
It's going to be James Kerr and Tommy Reynolds on the front row here for Heat race number 2. Then David Wright, Austin Purnell in row 2. Daniel Michelle and Bradley Wright in row 3. Dustin Painter, Josh Garrison make up row 4 ahead of Cody Riggs and Matthew Leiter. Alex Jemkowski and Emma Kruger round out the 6th row. So 12 cars in Heat 2 again. So we'll have 26 cars total. The front row from qualifying already set.
Again, it's easy when you get even numbers. Makes the heats both respectively even. But right now, at least in the back of mine, if I'm Kerr and Reynolds, considering that the front row, the last heat, both Donald Ray and Joshua Gaiman, quick mistake there, both had mistakes and did not finish 1-2 in the heat. Should be at least worth noting you don't want to make any silly mistakes here because both drivers are now going to be starting in the back when their qualifying times would have put them close to the front if we just went off qualifying only. So pace car going to take the hard left here. Green flag once out for Heat number 2. Oh, right there. A few cars almost clip it. I think the 25 Michelle did, or I think it was the 8 of Wright. Just a game of just when to get on the throttle here. You can see the 32 of Austin Purnell. Gonna try to take second away from the 75. Ooh, and look at that move for 4th position right there. Daniel Michelle saw opening on that 42 of David Wright. And gonna chain. He's actually gonna make it a 3 wide here. And he should get the job successfully done. James Kerr, though, kind of being a bit of a turnstile here. Really struggling to get it forward. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. Already down in the 10th position. A little bit further up, we do got a battle here forming for 5th position here between David Wright and Briley Wright. Wright's just kind of holding his own here. Wright's just kind of running that middle to high groove, and it's keeping the door open for that 8 to attack. No differences up front. Top 3 still Tommy Reynolds, Austin Purnell, and Daniel Michelle. No real pressure for attack. They're coming to 3 to go here. Ooh, a little bit of a slurp up the track there for the 18. It's got a bit of a cushion, though. He shouldn't be under pressure from Leiter as we're coming to 2 to go. Battle for 4th still heating up. Tommy Reynolds is coming off 3 and 4 right now. He will take the white flag lap in that number 7. We'll see in the foreground here. Battle for 4th. They're still heating up between Wright and Briley Wright and David Wright. But coming off 3 and 4 is check flag in the air. Tommy Reynolds will win Heat 2 with Austin Purnell in 2nd, Daniel Michelle in 3rd, and 4th will end up going to David Wright with Briley Wright rounding out your top 5. And that will transition nicely to a 5-minute warm-up. We have just give drivers make last-minute preparations, get some extra little laps here, maybe tweak their line if they need to. As race control is passing down as well, it is going to allow drivers the ability to practice pit road entry and exit, as this is a bit of a tricky pit lane to enter. With the high speeds and having to get on the brakes a lot earlier than you would think, especially other oval tracks. So it's about risk assessment, and we're going to be a good chance to practice it just in case we do get some green flag running and possibly green flag pit stops in the 3rd stage. For those in the chat still watching, good chance to get a drink, use the bathroom, do whatever you need, because we're going to have nice, good, clean, competitive racing coming up in about 3 minutes' time. For over 200 laps here at Dover. As the clock ticks down here for warm-up. Over 40 seconds left. And that will be the end of warm-up here.
Alrighty. Showtime at the Monster Mile. You see the starting grid on the center of your screen. It's Toby Estes and Brandon Fetterplace that locked themselves into the front row. Toby Estes was close to winning this race last year. Had a technical failure at the very end of the race. Ended up giving the win to Donald Ray. He'll start alongside Fetterplace in row 1. Seth Wanzing and Tommy Reynolds will be in row number 2. At Tom Sears and Austin Purnell. Kevin Feemster and Daniel Michelle in row number 4. And row 5 is Cody Pennell and David Wright. Jimmy Breo and Briley Wright make up row number 6. And as we kind of look on further down, obviously we saw a lot of drivers have to try to climb their way through the back of the field.
Yep. Just shows how important those heats are, where you may get a good qualifying time, but if you don't lock out the front row, you're going to have to go and try to find your time in the heats. For some drivers like Donald Ray, Joshua Gaiman, and a few others, they are now going to have to do just that. Try to get themselves up. And like you said, there are tracks where you can really make that work. But Dover's not really one of those tracks where it's very easy to go from the back to the front without some help, or at the very least, some strategy going your way. And green flag is out, and the way we go for the ARCS Dover 200. And right there, Fetterplace try to maybe chop block the 29. Not going to successfully get it done. The 29 is going to come off too strong. So back there, you see 3 wide battle there between the 25, the 7, and the 14. Coming to the end of the lap 1, the 29 will lead the first lap, but maybe not for long as the 9's going to challenge. Seth Wanzing makes a move for the lead. Still focus on there's a 3 wide battle there as well for third. As Austin Pennell going to challenge Toby Estes and Daniel Michelle there to make it a groove. And we do have a caution, first one of the night.
Even overstep is the reason for the yellow. And here's why.
Ooh, something happened in front of him. 61 a Gaiman. Oh, just nowhere to go. Luckily, those these drivers do have a fast repair if necessary. And I'll take an onboard shot here of Oberstadt. You can see just tries to save it, thinks he's going to go up the track a bit more, went low, and just nowhere to go. Gas strong, and the hole basically was kind of closed. So back to live action here, only on lap 4. A lot has happened for that battle for the lead, with Wanzing able to charge to the front with now Featherplay second and Tobias is third. Only a handful of drivers electing to come in. Kerr, Gaiman, Oberstadt, some to fix damage, others just to get off sequence. So we got the 2 degree here, and for those that are unaware, maybe first tuning in, ARCS runs in the A2 Cup Series and runs a choose cone. So we are going to see these drivers elect to choose whether they want to be on the inside row or outside row. The drivers that have made, we've seen a couple drivers get busted for rule violations of not making the choose in time. So we'll have to see. Just with race control warning the drivers in pre-race and even now, make the choose early. See if anyone maybe accidentally gets busted. Very interesting. Wanzing, Featherplace, and Estes all go to the bottom. Michelle was all thinking the bottom 2, but seeing the top 3 all go bottom, will elect to go to the top side and be joined by Austin Pinnell and Tommy Reynolds. So basically going to take the hard left into the pit lane here. Going to be on Wanzing's control. And green flag in the air, and away we go. And you can see right there, Featherplace trying to push the 9. Battle for third forming between Austin Pinnell and Featherplace. Yeah, based on an opening restart does kind of make me wonder because we saw during both heats, the outside line did get the more jump, at least for the first car in line. We saw that with the 25, so I was kind of shocked all three cars went low. Maybe some drivers making notes later on in the race. There was a third battle for third heating up here. This fellas is going to get around Seth Wanzing. And if Wanzing's not careful, he'll be under pressure for fourth. Spinell will successfully get that move done. So right now, Wanzing going the wrong way here. Maybe try to save a bit of rubber, but we saw before the first caution came out, he was charging upwards. And now he's going the wrong direction. He's going to try to possibly fall into the clutches here of our pole sitter, Toby Estes. Try to take fourth position away from him if Wanzing can't get a move on. A little bit further up, we do have the battle for the lead heating up here a bit as well. With Feather Place knocking on the door of the 25. And a slightly faster lap last time by a 10th. This time by a little slower just because he caught the draft and the aero wash of the 25. But is looking to make a pass. It's worth noting that these top two have broken about 2 seconds ahead of the third place car of Austin Pinnell. And they're almost 3 seconds ahead of Seth Wanzing. Back to the battle for fourth here. Carmen found a good spot between the 9 and 29. It's heating back up. The 29 gonna make a move. And it's gonna get followed through by the 14 to Tom Sears. So Wanzing ends up losing 2 for 1 there. And he goes from fourth all the way down to 6th. If he's not careful, he's got 2 more cars behind him in the 7 of Tommy Reynolds and this 50 of Cody Pinnell. There's Kevin Feemster. Challenging for 8th position of Cody Pinnell. And that's going to be a caution called here. Looks like it's going to be for the 18. Yep, Joshua Garrison and David Wright, 42. And there's the 42 stationary off of 3. There's Jonathan Holmbrink in the 20. So at least 3 cars involved. So I'll have to take a look at this, see what exactly happened, because they were in the pack that fell a little bit away from the lead pack. So there's the 18 to Garrison. So it looks like it was a little bit away from him. And then there's the battle for the lead. Ooh. Yep, that would do it. 42 gives a little bit of a bad bump to the 20. And that just kind of proved Dover's a bit of a self-cleaning racetrack. It sent the 20 down, the 42 down. And they end up getting the worst of that accident. take one more onboard perspective. Here's the 18 of Garrison. He does get involved somewhere around here, but the question is where? Well, yep, there you go. 42 of David Wright gets hit hard by the 18. And that most likely killed the motor of the 18. Yep, he has to tow and burn a fast repair. And now take a look at 20th Homebrink, onboard shot of him. And in comparison, you can just see the end of the T-bone right there. But the end of it, Homebrink, even though he got a pretty good lick, out of the 3 cars involved in that accident, he probably got away with the least amount of damage. Now, one more perspective here from the 42. Just gives a little shove. And just 20 tries to cover. And sends them both down to Ryan Pennell. And end up making a bad situation for all 3, including the 18 of Garrison. So back to live action here on lap 21. A handful of cars elected to come in. Obviously, the few cars that did end up with accidents, the 42, David Wright, the 20 of Homebrink, the 18 of Garrison, and also the 38 of Stefan Oberstadt, who also elected to pit, maybe to fix up a little bit of damage from that first incident he was involved in earlier, first caution, I should say, earlier in the night. Since we're at 2 to go, we're going to see another choose here. We saw Daniel Michel gain quite much for taking the high groove here. So the question is, will he follow the same strategy and stay high, or will now he take the low line? Because it seems like if you're second or third in line, that low line is the way you want to be, but it's not totally against it to be the first car on the high groove, or the high line, I should say. So coming to the choose. It looks like, ooh, we got 25, 34. Oh, fake at the end there. Michelle going to go high. Featherplay's going to go low. And we're going to have Estes low and Austin Purnell high, and Tom Sears and Tommy Reynolds in your third row, low, high, respectively. So a bit of a mind game situation for that 25. Austin Purnell looked like he was going to line up front row, but now we'll have to line up second in line and see what he can do with it. So Pace car getting ready to pull off in the pit lane here. And green flag out, and away we go. And a little bump there on the front row between the 25 and the 34. 25 going to come down and try to clear the 34, and he'll successfully get it done. But no love lost between the front two, as now Austin Purnell going to challenge 34 as well for second. Austin's going to get the job done. Give another advantage to that outside line, as they are now 2 for 2 on restarts here today in the main race. A little bit further back in the pack, see Wanzing and Feemster fighting hard. Is now Mulkey going to try to make a move on the 9, or at least thinking about it, but there's the top two again. Michelle and Purnell. Purnell is reeling in that 25 at a good pace here, and I think we may see a move here. It's the battle for third. Pole sitter Toby Estes thinking about making a move here. He's just going to get close here. Going to try to aggressively side draft. And he will clear himself going out of 3 and 4. So put the 29 up to third. Now Featherplace is going to be under challenge from his team boss right behind him. He's just trying to hold that bottom. He's getting choo-choo chained around the outside. 7 to Reynolds, gets around 9 to Wanzing. Now Featherplay's going to make it, but Mulkey's right there. Mulkey's going to block off the 21 from making a move. And in turn, the 74 is going to be able to strike. You see, sometimes it's better to kind of follow the car ahead and follow through and let him lead the train. Mulkey got a little overzealous. It's going to cost him a few spots here, but Ryan board here with the 99 of Alex Simkowski. He's currently in 16th position, just behind the 75 of James Kerr and the 2 of Donald Ray. Trying to find whatever he can in that 99. Battle's heating up in that mid-pack. You just see all these cars here from 7th on back, kind of in a blanket, trying to get whatever they can. Right now, similar to kind of what happened to Wanzing on the first restart, Featherplace is falling down the order here. You can see him just on the high line there, coming off 3 and 4. And so getting passed by the 21 of Feemster, the 50 of Cody Pennell right now, and you can see right there on the inside, that is going to be Dustin Painter in the 65. As always, going to stack up the outside line just a bit. And almost Simkowski runs in the back of 27 Jack Mulkey. And you can see by the 8 of Briley Wright's rear shot, it's just all gone wrong to that 34. Something, either the tires have clipped very hard, or he's just trying to get to the end of stage. But back up to the lead here. We got Daniel Michelle getting reeled in by Toby Estes. Estes, remember, our pole sitter, almost won last year's Dover race, but due to a technical foul, couldn't seal the deal. You know, he's got strong pace at Dover. He's letting those horses fly. There's one thing we kind of noticed throughout the season so far with that 25 Michelle. He's got great pace, but he does kind of have problems with managing the tires. And his tires cliff a bit more than the rest. We got the battle for the lead here. Estes on the inside, but just cannot get the good run off to stay side by side. We'll live to fight another day, though. You can see on the timing scores, you watch this battle. You got a battle for third happening as Wanza got around Pennell and Reynolds got around Sears. It's a little bit of a shakeup in that top 6, but that's not going to deter the 29. As now he's going to have the run. He's going to have the third exit here. He should get the job done in 3 and 4. And he successfully will do it. He'll come on up and it will clear the move. Can the 25, though, challenge back? He won't get the run. So Estes leads that lap and will take the point of the lead of the race. As we're on lap 40 right now. That's just, you can see pulling away here. This is a little bit further back. There's the 34 of Feather Place under pressure from the 99 of Simkowski and the 3 of Riggs, but Riggs in his own little battle with the 70 of Emma Kruger. Reminder, Emma Kruger made her return to A-square competition last week at Talladega after a 3-week break. So looking to have a good run here in Dover. Just gonna have a challenge here for Cody Riggs. Holes open. They're gonna go 3 wide here. It usually doesn't work out. And Kruger, even though she was the aggressor, she's going to get the job done, and she'll get 2 spots there. And Feather Place is going to be the loser. He ends up losing 2 spots, and Riggs will hold a net position. And now Kruger on the attack. She feels confident. She got 2. She's going to want a 3rd. Right now, you're seeing the effects of kind of tire wear at least a little bit. It's at 34 Feather Plays. Really did not conserve his rubber up that much. He's falling, but here comes Cody Riggs. Going to take a challenge here. Probably going to be a little bit more aggressive with that 70, knowing how aggressive she was with him. But just cannot stay on the quarter panel and have to back it down.
Battle near the top 5. This is Feimster in 7th. Tom Sears in 8th. And Cody Pinnell in 9th and Donald Ray in 10th. This is the battle at the very fringe of the top 10.
And you can see the effects of tire wear here. As the 14 of Tom Sears up there in the top 5, now falling back. One of those few drivers that have really struggled getting their tires to the distance. There's the 8 of Briley Wright and Dustin Painter. They're fighting for 11th. Jack Mulkey in the crosshairs. A driver that's really made a lot of gains that I'm noticing on my perspective is Donald Ray. Already up to 9th. Had that poor heat showing where he had that mistake in heat 1. Had to start pretty far in the back. And he's already up to 9th position. And could easily get maybe 1 or 2 more spots before they hit the stage end. Yeah, as we're approaching lap 50 here, no changes up front. It's still Toby Estes in first, Seth Wanzing in second, 1.3 back. Tommy Reynolds in third, 2 back of Toby Estes. For some, it's just getting all you can get here and get the stage points you can get. Other drivers, just hang on. Just try to get to that pit stop window. As Feimster going to open the door on Pinnell. Now Donald Ray wants a piece. Just see how close they're running. You just see that 32 really struggling with the grip. Ours basically sideways to get a nice bumper shot here. Sort of only the 2's under pressure from the 14 of Sears. Sealspell really struggling for grip. It's going to allow the 2 to possibly strike. Remember, at the front of this train is 25 Michelle, who's going to possibly get passed here by the 21 of Feemster. Austin Pinnell going to follow suit here. Michelle was leading at the beginning of this caution, and now just tire wear has really affected that 25. And he's got passed by 1, 2 from Austin Pinnell, and now Donald Ray and Sears and even Cody Pinnell could all railroad that 25 before he even gets a chance to go low. Question is, can he find a way down before Cody Pinnell can get around? Oh, but Tom Sears gets a little loose there. He'll save it, but he's going to lose all the time he just gained. Great save, though, by Tom Sears. You can see Cody Pinnell, though, gonna take where Tom Sears just was. Make a pass, and there's Briley Wright. At least for the positive for the 25 is the next car is now Tom Sears. Tom Sears has got a little bit of a buffer to him, as it's about a 1.5 seconds. From the stage coming close to ending soon, it should at least allow 25 to maybe at least hold on and get a stage point, but Tom Sears already knocking the door. Oh, Austin Pinnell had a slight mistake there. As you can see, he collapsed the wall in that 32. It's actually, really struggling here. He's trying to get back up to speed. It's looking good to get stage points, and now he is probably out of contention for getting anything. So you can see the 99 getting around. Now here's Feather Place, Alfred George. Oh, that Alfred George hooks the 34. And that is going to be a caution as he ends up colliding with another car there. That's the 12 of Ryan Pinnell. 2 cars going for 1 mistake, and that will end the stage, as the stage was ending on lap 60. So Estes is going to win the stage, Wansing 2nd, Reynolds 3rd, Braille 4th, Feemster 5th, Ray 6th, Pinnell 7th, Briley Wright 8th, Tom Sears 9th, and Daniel Michelle will hold on and get a stage point to 10th position. But just an interesting situation there. The 34 was just trying to get to the end of stage and ends up 2 cars fighting for 1 spot, and they end up kind of colliding here. So we'll take a look here again. You can just see 22's getting around the 34. 34 tries to split the gap to get low to clear Austin so he doesn't get stuck up, and ends up getting hooked, and then takes Ryan Pinnell with him. Well, doesn't take Ryan Pinnell with him, but ends up colliding with Ryan Pinnell. There's Dustin Painter as well, drifting out of 2. So now we'll take a look at Painter here. He got that win in Atlanta. You can just see clips the apron just a bit. The car starts to spin, but he saves it. So no harm, no foul for that 65. Let's see what take his pit stop here. Travis elected to stay out here. 22, 34, 12. But obviously, probably someone going to take pit stops with how hard 34 hit the wall. Should be coming in the second wave of pit stops here. All come in except the 22 Alfred George, but with Alfred George being 1 lap down, he will get the wave around here. The lead will be inherent to Toby Estes, with Tommy Reynolds getting a big win on the pit stop window, as he will take second, Wansing third, Feemster fourth, and Ray fifth, at least before we see the choose. As we come up to the choose here, we'll see how it is affected. This is going to go high. See Feather Place get on out of pit lane here, but Estes going to go high. Reynolds going to go low. Wansing going to go high. And Feemster going to go low. So the first time we've kind of seen it, drivers go kind of 1-1-1-1-1 instead of 3 cars going inside line or a few cars going outside line. So choose really had no effect there per se, other than allowing Toby Estes the ability to be on the outside instead of the inside. So here we go again. At the end of stage 1, we're going to get another 60 laps of great racing here for stage 2. Pace car going to pull on off. And green flag in the air, and away we go. Toby Estes gets a good launch, and Tommy Reynolds going to slot in for second position here, with Wansing going to hold for third. Okay, a little bit racy in the back there, as Sears and Ray are fighting hard. As Cody Pennell gets a bit of a stack up here, it's going to allow Ray to get the run off here and going to challenge Cody Pennell. Oh, but aggressive for Donald Ray, hard into the wall. Big lick, takes Kruger with him. And Simkowski will also get a lick. That was a big lick for the 2. Just tried to get clear, almost had it, tried to save it, and that's going to be a toe back for the 2. There's no way he's driving that thing back with how much air he got off the bounce. Take a look at the replay. You just see the 2 just boom, big lick. Just try to come back up, saw an opportunity, and similar to what happened with Feather Place. But this time, almost got the job cleared. Almost made it, and now Donald Ray can have to toe back. Take a look onboard perspective, and this is going to hurt to watch. Just has it saved, and then... Oh. Now on board here with Emma Kruger. Just, there was nowhere to go for that 70. She was just hoping that the slots favored her, and at this point, she ended up hitting a Donald Ray. But at the very least, doesn't look too bad in perspective. But still not what the 70 would want to see. There's Simkowski. I just had to go high, make it work. He's going to get the job done. So back to live action. Handful of drivers did elect to pit. 65, 32, the 70, 34 Feather Place came back down. Sears, 12 Ryan Pinnell, 2 Don Ray, obviously, and the 20th Homebrink. Even though we just did hit pit stops, some drivers electing to come back in, either get off sequence or for some fix damage that may have occurred under the last incident. Still up front, it's Toby Estes, Tommy Reynolds, and Seth Wanzing. Not much really changed with the little action we've had. So we've hit 2 to go here. We're going to get to choose this time, but well, coming up to the line this time by. So here we come to the choose. Estes is going to have first dibs at the choose here. Will he go high again, or will he try low? Looks like he'll go high. Reynolds will go low. Wanzing will go low. So that'll be your top 3. With that Feemster going up high in the for the 4th spot. And Jack Mulkey going to kind of clean up here a little bit with Cody Pinnell and Briley Wright both going low. It's going to allow Jack Mulkey to gain a few extra spots here. We are going to get the delay of restart here, so we are going to get 1 extra lap here under pacing. So we did get a delay for a possible choose cone violation, but no violation has been called. So everything is still clean and green. So we will be going green, not coming up this time, but next time by. While we have the second on lap 70, we'd just like to say for those that are watching, thank you for joining us for this Sunday evening for the ARCS Dover 200 here on ABN Esports. And if you like what you see, why not give the channel a little bit of a follow? We just hit the 500 follower count here, and we love to have you join the ABN Esports family.
Couldn't say it too much better myself.
But here we go again for the next restart. It's going to be on Toby Estes to control in the restart zone. Okay, so we're going to take the hard left. Green flag in the air, and away we go. Good launch here by the 29. The 7 going to slide up to that middle high groove to cover off the 21. As they all try to find their beck and call here, you can see the 27 of Mulkey going to hang high and tie here with the 9 of Wanzing. Highline can work if there's checkups on the low. End up kind of clip ball just a little. Looks like maybe just missed it. And he'll hold on for 5th. But now you can see a big battle here forming up. There's a 9-9 of Simkowski trying to get around the fight here with the 3 of Cody Riggs. Side by side with said car. Actually, that's Dustin Painter. My mistake. Riggs actually end up getting around that. Painter end up getting the spot. Just shows you can kind of run the high groove and get away with it if you get the run, but sometimes it's better to be low and arc low. And that will cut Joshua Gaiman. Has a fast 61 machine, but after that little mistake he had during the heat race, he hasn't really been able to work his way back up for the field here. He's been kind of buried in the back.
I'm gonna bring Tag the wall. They're in the back. We'll lose another spot.
You got a battle here for second. Wanzing making a move on the 7 of Reynolds. And Feemster trying to maybe think about taking the door. Saw the hole. And will get his fender in, but just cannot complete it. Now Feemster going to be on the attack of Reynolds. He'll end up gaining 3rd. Feemster, one of those drivers, needed to be looking for a good run here. Right now, it's been providing well, but still a long way to go before they see the checkered. So definitely wants to keep that form going in that 21. Here comes Feemster again on the charge. Also just there for 4th. You can see right there, that is Cody Pinnell making a move on Tommy Reynolds. And he'll get it done. So right now, I think I'd probably have a guess here. Reynolds is maybe playing the long game here because we know he's definitely good at conserving his rubber. And with that early track position, and knowing we still got well over 50-something laps before we get to the end of stage, definitely don't want to burn himself up too quick because we saw the ill effects. Ineffective feather place, Daniel Michelle, and a few others last stage. Saving your stuff is a virtue here if you want to end up getting good stage points here in stage 2. So pretty much have gotten single file here. I think we saw almost a side-by-side battle there between the 3 and the 25. Saw it on the backstretch, but it looks like it kind of worked itself out. It's about just kind of getting your runs, getting close, and making the pass when you feel comfortable. You do not want to force it. As the last 2 cautions have come out from kind of aggressive forces on passes.
Kind of entering an ebb and flow in this race. Stage 2 ending on lap 120. Seeing a little bit of that patience coming into play.
Patience is a virtue. Right now, Reynolds, it's basically, you got the 4 cars in the lead pack have kind of broken away a little bit and have made a path to the second pack, which is now led by Tom Reynolds. You can just see on this backstretch shot, goes all the way to about Justin Painter and Austin Pinnell in 16th. And then you got pack 30, which is a few cars, including Jeremy Braille, Stefan Oberstadt, and Brandon Featherplace. So 3 little distinct packs forming here in the ebbs and flows, with the main meat and potatoes in that second pack, almost like a sandwich, if you will. 2 pieces of bread, top and bottom, and the big meaty section in the middle. So we do got a battle heating up here for third. 21 to Feemster and the 50 of Pinnell. Is Cody Pinnell going to be on the corner panel here of this 21, trying to get it? Should get the run out of here. Well, almost had the run on 3 and 4, but just couldn't get the run off. So you can see that as we hit lap 89 here is that second pack that you can see right there. 75 of James Kerr getting the run, but just can't really take it anywhere. With such a short straight, you really have to time the car right and the run right, and if you end up not getting the exit you need, you can't set up well. But you can see there a pass forming just behind these 2 here. With the 14 of Sears and the 83 of Leiter. Now looking at it, James Kerr gets that good run off 3 and 4. That seems to be a strength, but 1 and 2 is a bit of a weakness for him. So get another good run here. He should be able to set up nicely going the 1 and 2 if my prediction is correct. And if he doesn't, though, Sears, next man up, is going to challenge James Kerr for a spot. Here comes Cody Riggs, I should say. Thinks about making a move on Michelle, and he'll have a chance. Oh, as they do end up touching, Michelle saves it, goes up the racing surface, and they all save it. So we stay green. But that checkup's going to cost a lot of drivers a lot of time. But the alternative could have been a massive wreck. So hats off to all the driver, to the 3 of Riggs in that incident, saving it and not ending up going wrong way around there. But end up causing that pack to lose a lot of time as now they are good 7 seconds behind the leader when they were only about 4 before that happened. So take a look at the Trapman there just to show you now how that gap is kind of affected. Right now you can see 2 lap down vehicles, well, 2 cars currently on the tail end of the lead lap. There's the 12 and the 22, as we'll see the 12 there. Coming off 2 here. And then the leader is currently in the halfway point between 1 and 2. So and now Ryan Pinnell and Alfred George, good chance getting caught here. As it looks like the 12 going to pit here, set on radio. Bit of an unscheduled pit stop for the 12. He'll come on in and take some service. Kind of hearing over radio chat, I can hear a few drivers talking about how they're not wanting to really make a passes here because they don't want to burn the stuff up, which is a concern we saw at the end of stage 1. Do got a battle here between for 7th, 6th position between Mulkey and Briley Wright. Cody Riggs also making a stop here as well. Mulkey was able to kind of hang on here, get around Wright, and he'll get the job done. So put Mulkey up a spot, put up 6th. Briley Wright down 1. And looking through the field right now, Jack Mulkey's one of our biggest movers here, up 15 spots. Right now, that title for biggest mover belongs to Emma Kruger, up 16 spots from her qualifying position. So both drivers are really strong getting up through the field here and gaining spots. But there's Toby S. is going to put the 22 another lap down here. And a bit of a race to forget for Alfred George C. is many, many laps down, just trying to hope some other drivers DNF and maybe get some points that way. So as Toby Estes comes up the last corner here, we are going to hit the halfway point of this race, lap 100. Gonna have another 100 to go before we see the end of this thing, with one more stage break coming in at lap 120. So we're also 20 to go for the end of stage 2 and the final run after that for the flag. One driver to keep a note on right now, as I'm looking through, is the 7 to Tommy Reynolds. Tommy Reynolds already got around Cody Pinnell in the 50, and is now hunted down the 21 of Feemster, about half a second back. Really did conserve his stuff, as I was kind of hypothesizing. He was saving his stuff, and now it's kind of showing. So there's Seth Wanzing. It just shows you the gap right now between Toby Estes and Seth Wanzing. So it's kind of consistently been about 1-ish seconds throughout this whole stage. Every time it seems like Wanzing gains a bit, Toby Estes gains a little bit back. That time by, for instance, Estes was a little bit faster. See there, Kruger getting around Tom Sears. It's gonna be another spot gain for that 70, as she is now up 7th position, but 3 seconds back of Jack Mulkey is gonna be a hard ask to make up, even for her. Try to get another stage point here. There's Cody Riggs, who pitted earlier, got some fresh tires on that 3, charging up for the field here. Could at least most likely get one of his laps back, as we'll cut back to a little bit later in the action. There's Briley Wright battling 74 Jeremy Breo. That is for position in a battle for 8th. Good spot there by Carmen, as you can even see Gaiman teammate Beatron gonna get around. And even a third car is gonna try to sneak around too. James Kerr is gonna ground that 8 as well. So Briley Wright goes from 9th position to start and looks like on pace to get a stage point or 2, now outside the stage in 12th. Or I guess the point eligible stage points positions. If he's not careful, there is Matthew Leiter there in the distance as well. Right, losing another spot to Leiter. We'll put Wright down the 13th. One positive, he's got a little bit of a cushion to Simkowski by about a second. But knowing if that is tire fall off is affecting that 8 as bad as it looks like it may be, it may not be too long until we see that 99 knocking on the door of the 8. See John Smeal in the chat, raced last week at Talladega for B-Tron part-time. Rooting on his B-Tron teammates.
As I mentioned earlier, at the beginning of the race, this track was going to eat tires up. That's exactly what's going on right now.
Yep. The effects of being on a concrete surface. The driver's really mastered quite well. It's Toby Estes, who's now almost up to 2.5 seconds. Seth Wansing. As the laps are ticking down here, Tom Sears now falling into the clutches of the B-Tron tag team as Breo and Gaiman both looking to make a pass on the 14. Breo going to take it low, get around, and there's Joshua Gaiman. And he's got a fast 61, and he'll get the job done as well. That's a two-piece, and B-Tron, they both gain at least another spot for their troubles. And there goes Gaiman, knowing that it's going to be a long way to the next position. They're going to fight hard here with only 8 laps left in the stage. And Gaiman probably going to come out. Now Sears is going to pass Breo. So maybe not in the B-Tron playbook here. They both wanted to get around Sears, then maybe fight. But Breo could fall in the clutches of Sears. But it looks like Breo will hang on, at least in the short term. But we know for a fact, no team orders here between the boss and the driver. So whoever can get the spot will get the spot. But obviously they do not want to wreck each other fighting for only 8th position.
You caught it third. And about fourth, excuse me, between Reynolds and Pinnell.
Yeah, you caught it as soon as I was cutting to my own onboard. Pinnell is reeled back in Reynolds. That time by similar-ish lap times, but the previous lap was a big gap. Reynolds made a slight mistake, and you can just see there, tires really affecting that 7 as he got squirrely off 2. And that's going to allow Cody Pinnell in the 50.
They're still side by side here.
I think Reynolds has got a little bit more pace in that 7 at the moment, but with the tires, I think the 50's got the advantage. I'll have to see how it plays out. If they do end up having an incident, you can see the 27 of Mulkey just there in the distance, ready to strike. As Estes crossed the line with lap 118, we got 2 to go here. Oh, 3 to go, I should say. Two to go in the stage. Fighting for all you can get. 12 of Pinnell there. Fresh tires just trying to stay ahead here. Cody going to go low. Reynolds going to try to follow suit. And right now, that 12 is a bit of a pick. Not going to allow Reynolds to get the run. Mulkey's there as well. Going to try to get what he can get.
Keep an eye on Mulkey in the 27. Also in the conversation for the top 5. They may try to do something here. More lap traffic.
They only got about half a lap to go because the stage ends once the leader crosses the line. So it's up to Mulkey. Mulkey blinks out for a second. He'll get back in it, but right now, Estes is coming to the 3. If he's going to make it, he's going to have to do it now, coming to the 3 and 4.
He's not close
coming
enough.
Off the last, yep, not close enough. Coming out the last lap, Estes crosses the line, and that won the stage. So it will be Estes, Wansing, Feemster, Pinnell, Reynolds, Mulkey, Kruger, Gaiman, Breo, and Sears all getting points here from 10 to 1. That is going to be a stage win for Toby Estes.
Emma Kruger gets some stage points, as does Josh Gaiman, Jeremy Breo, and Tom Sears. Kruger currently the highest gainer so far, up 13 spots.
So we're going to see another wave of pit stops here. And right now, the real question is there anything anyone can do to challenge Toby Estes? He has been in control for the most part in that 29 for this whole second stage.
Toby was a dominant force at this track last year. Led most laps of the race, but then had a technical failure with 10 laps to go. So this was a place of heartbreak for what was then Bluegrass Bandits. So Toby Estes definitely doesn't want this one to slip away too.
So most of the field here coming down pit lane, looking for a few, but they are at least a lap down. You're going to take advantage of the wave round or possibly pitting out of sequence. The question is, obviously 4 tires is the element. No one's going to take 2 here. If you're taking 4, you're going to fill it up. So it's just going to be a mistake of not missing your box and getting on the throttle as quick as you can to get out without spinning the tires. Since virtual pit crews are basically strong enough, and you're going to see it on the exit here. Estes going to get out ahead first. Wanzing second. It's going to be Reynolds third, Feemster fourth, and Cody Pennell fifth, and Mulkey sixth. So Reynolds ends up gaining a spot there on Feemster. And just at these points, it's just about timing your metrics. And even though pit crews are about the same virtually, it's just getting in and out and timing it right. And Reynolds ends up gaining a spot for it. We're getting the choose here. You see some cars getting the way around here, but Toby S is going to go low. Seth Wanzing going to take the high groove with Reynolds low, Feemster high, Pennell low, Mulkey high. That'll be your top 6 here. Just to kind of finish it out, Kruger and Gaiman will make up the next row. And last but not least, at least to make out the first 5 rows, Matthew Leiter and Jeremy Breo.
Very interesting stage, too, the way that all played out.
Yeah. So similar to what we saw for stage 2, stage 3, similar-ish restart we're going to have for the final stage. Pace car going to pull on off. And green flag in the air, and away we go for this final stage of the night. Estes gets a good launch, but Reynolds follows suit. Could put a challenge here on Wanzing. And he will, so put Reynolds up a spot. Wanzing up to slot in for third. Mulkey there making moves for fifth position. Wanzing gets it back. And there goes Feemster, going to try to take a spot for Reynolds. After you can just see in the distance, getting RG Bargy. Kruger gets another position gain, so put Kruger up to sixth. Knocking on the door for a top five. But battle for the lead here still heating up. Wanzing knows he needs to maybe press the issue here. Don't allow Estes to get into comfort zone. Nine gonna get a run here. He's gonna try to set up for one. And he'll get the job done. Put Wanzing up to the lead. One of the first times tonight. Now the main concern is you don't want to burn your stuff too much here. You need to save your stuff. Just watching in the back here, they're all getting single file here for the most part. But we do got the battle for fourth. Big train formed behind Reynolds. See, halfway through the pack there. This is the battle for 12th, 11th, and 10th, respectively. Well, 9th for Leiter, 10th for Mulkey, 11th for Wright, and 12th for Feather Place right now. And right now, battle for fourth as Pinnell gets around now. Kruger side by side. And Kruger will be in the top five. So Reynolds, one of his main weak points seems to be here at Dover is restarting. Seems really to kind of struggle to get that car going on a restart. Just see this train forming. You just want... Knowing how pokey this field can be, you want to get some breathing room here. Oh, and there goes Leiter. Leiter gets a little tap. It's going to set him hard to the outside wall. And it's going to send Alfred George too, and that's going to be two cars. And that will be a caution. So our sixth caution of the ninth. Alfred George and Matthew Leiter. And just I think we'll see from the replay, you can see that 22 is crab walking. Just trying to make it the pit lane so 22 Alfred George does not have to tow. So the 22 will successfully get it, even though he had to try to crab walk it, but he got the job done, and he'll get back in. All his main hope now is he's got a fast spare still saved up, but I don't know if he does or doesn't, so we'll have to wait and see on this one. So take a look at the replay here. You're just going to see Leiter gets a bit of a bad bump here. Yep, just a little tap there. Door was open. 8 took it. 83 wasn't ready. And just comes down and, oh, just net codes almost 22 or slightly hits him. And it sends the 22 in a bad spot. So we'll take another look here because I'm still wondering what exactly he got somehow collected. Take a look at the blimp shot here. Now side shot. Honestly, looks a little bit more like net code per se because it didn't look like he came down just enough.
Hey, there was definitely contact here. And
I know, but it didn't
slow
look
motion here because
that's severe.
It's it's where the impact takes place.
Yeah,
because he like obviously these fenders jut out a little bit. And we'll pause it here and we'll kind of go frame by frame. It's just how it catches. It catches right there on the fender and just kicks it.
So back to live action here. Seth Wanzing is your race leader. As we're coming up to the choose. We see, again, inside, outside. We'll have to wait and see how Wanzing picks. And it looks like, oh, Toby Estes going to go low. Feemster going to go high. Pinnell low. Kruger high. Bit of a mixed bag of strategies there. I thought Estes maybe would have rolled the dice and went high, but I think he feels confident on that low groove. But it seems like if you're second or third in line, that low side is where you want to be. But if you're first car in line, if you time it right, or if you at least can do it somewhat okay, you can hold on or even put yourself in a spot to take second. So, or keep second or even challenge. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. But interesting call for the 29. So at the 6th caution of the night, we are going to get our next restart here. Pace car going to pull on in. It's going to be on Wanzing's control. Green in the air, and away we go. Estes gets a good launch per se. Cody Pinnell gets some bad wheel spin. That's going to allow Kruger to slide on in. And Toby Estes going to get second here. Kruger with a challenge for third. Got Pinnell, Reynolds, big fight basically from third on back. 2 by 2, almost by 2. Breo getting around Feather Place. Right now battling Feather Place. Feemster gets back third. Now Kruger under attack here from Reynolds. Cody Pinnell, strong car, suffered from wheel spin on that last restart. Now trying to change it around the outside. And we'll get the job done. Gaiman tried to follow suit, but the hole closed. Some useful insight here. that because of this setup, it feels like the car bottoms out on the top, so you want to be on that low line here. It's preferred line. Archikala in the chat, so...
That's Aiden Norman.
Thank you, Aiden Norman. Right now, Seth Wansing has given himself some breathing room up front. Here's the battle between Reynolds and Cody Pennell, battling for fourth. We do have Matthew Leiter, who did spin off of 3 and 4, I believe. He is now, as you see right there, coming off the backstretch. Calls it may have been 2 cars, but it looks like it was only 1, so we stay green. Ooh, Emma Kruger just smacked the wall just a tad. It's going to help Riley Wright to get around, possibly. Oh, Riley just couldn't hold it on the inside. That's going to allow Kruger to keep the spot. So, slight mistake coming off too. Just a light kiss. It's going to, but at least Emma Kruger hangs on. Oh, well, that's going to cause a problem there. Kruger off the wall twice, trying to keep it straight, loops it. Stationary in the low lane will stay green. It's still only 1 car. Kruger maybe pushing a bit too hard. It's going to lose a lot of spots here. There's Cody Pennell. Top 5 car all day. Same thing with Tommy Reynolds. He's getting the run off certain corners here, but just hard to find the avenue to make the pass successful. As we're within 50 to go here. Keep an eye on timing scoring right now. You can see on the left pylon, Estes has gotten it down as we're still in battle with Reynolds and Pennell here, and they catching Feemster as well. But keep an eye on that left pylon as Toby Estes has gotten it down within a second to Seth Wansing. Last time by a 10th faster Estes was. This time by still faster by a little less than a 10th. Estes is coming. We'll cut back to another battle here we got between Jeremy Brayo and the 8 of Riley Wright. 7th and 8th respectively. And even the 6 of Joshua Gaiman there just to head the road. Ooh, probably right, though. Feather Place is going to get around here. We just saw him get a little squirrely off, too. It's right and Feather Place are fighting hard. There's Simkowski, Painter, a battle there. Alpha George making a pit stop there. Ryan Pinnell and Simkowski fighting. That wasn't a battle for positions. Pinnell is multiple laps down at the moment. There's Briley Wright, very low. Really struggling here as he's going to lose spot to Painter, lose spot to Simkowski. If he's not careful, he may end up falling another spot to Kerr, but there's a bit of a cushion between him and Kerr currently at the moment. Right now, I'm keeping my eyes up front, though. Toby Estes has gotten it down to 0.55, just under half a second. He is reeling him in, but the question really is the 29 burning up his stuff to get to the 9? Wanzing just got her with half a... I'm sorry. Toby Estes just got one on half a second. Battle for the lead is shrinking. As the Seth Wanzing going to make his final pit stop of the race. He wants to undercut. He's going to take the challenge. Wanzing in.
The risky move, but I appreciate it.
Late call. He knew Toby Estes was coming. He's going to get followed in by Joshua Gaiman. Jack Mulkey also pitted as well. Problem is, pit road being so tricky to get in and out of makes you wonder if something may happen. Briley Wright coming in too. He's hit his window. How long will Toby have to stay out there for? How comfortable does he feel? They want to wait a little bit just so in case a caution does fly, because he'll pin the 9 at least 1 down. Every lap that ticks by, now I think 2 down. But every lap that ticks by puts itself in a bad spot of losing time out. That 9, but we'll have the fresher tires. That situation, oh, Tommy Reynolds almost cost a caution. Toby Estes coming on in. They both try to get around the 9 re-entering, and they almost wowed it down. Cody Pinnell going in hard. It'd be a miracle if that 50 didn't speed. Cody Pinnell made it too. Just heard it on radio, champs. No speeding. That was clean. 21 coming in this time by. So Feemster takes the lead. Feemster coming on in. And we'll pit. And we'll hand the lead over to the 34 Feather Place.
That was wild.
It was wild. I mean, they almost had an incident in the backstretch come out of 2. And then they got through 3 and 4 and almost had another incident. That's what Estes would have wanted to see, but hey, green. All right, now we're now at the point we're going to see the drivers staying out as long as they can. Hoping a caution comes or something flies. Simkowski's going to come on in. Carr in 4th. Painter also in as well.
Better place to stay as long as possible, I believe. That's the strategy you'd have to play.
He has a strong car, but being muddled in traffic, especially after the incident at the end of stage 1, hasn't been able really to recover. He cannot make it to the end because he did not pit within on the last caution we had. So he would not be able to make it to the end unless he somehow found the switch to find that extra fuel. Not to get, and now Father Place comes in, not to get the hopes up for the Kruger fans in the chat. She hasn't made her final pit stop yet, so that timing and scoring is not indicative of where she currently is on the circuit, along with Sears, Kerr, and Purnell. And Michelle as well. Right now, drivers have not made their final pit stops. Cody Riggs, as the Father Place just came in, Leiter, Kruger, Kerr, Purnell, Michelle, and Sears. Swanson's going to get around here. 70 of Kruger. Seeing some tempers flare. Someone's not happy with the 61. Speaking of the 61, there he's there. Big battle. That is for position. Gaiman and Estes, I think, are fighting for position.
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Gaiman, with the help of the undercut, gain the track position on the 29.
This is extremely interesting. Gaiman managed to leapfrog Estes.
Mm-hmm. We know Gaiman has a fast 61. He was just outside the top 10, so it's not implausible. He'd have the pace with those fresh tires, but Shockey made it up in those few laps. Gonna get around James Kerr here, the 75. About half a corner's difference between right now this battle for would be de facto second and the 9 of Seth Wanzi, who just came out of going into 3 right now. And the thing is, Estes, he's going to burn up his tires either trying to get around or stay close to the 61. Still waiting for final pit stop between Sears, Michelle, Kerr, Kruger, and Riggs. But here comes 29 of Estes. Knows he's got the car. Doesn't want another one to slip through his fingers. Gonna put on the attack here. Can't clear. Still side by side. And now gonna be a pick, and that's gonna allow Estes to go around. Aiden Norman in the chat brings up a good point. Gaiman followed Wanzing in. Estes had a slower entry in the pits. Next to Cody, may have got a slight hold up, just playing conservative, and all that made it work. Wanzing, though, if he ends up holding on, this would be the call of the race.
It would be. Wanzing won one race last year. He won at Nashville, another concrete track.
King of the concrete jungle, but right now, let's not count the checks before they're cashed. One caution, and Estes has the tire advantage. And if caution were even to come out, Sears, Michelle, Kruger, Kerr just came in. They'd all still have trapped them all one down and would net gains positions. As we're on 20 to go right now. Set at the stage 2. Ice person set at the stage 2 break. Does anyone have anything for Toby Estes? And right now, that answer is Seth Wanzing, as Wanzing is going to catch Sears, get around Sears, and is now back on the lead lap. So if a caution were to fly, he would inherit the lead.
Oh!
Oh,
Trouble!
there's your possible cautions. Wanzing just hooked Riggs. Wanzing in the wall, the inside wall.
Oh, no. The caution's out.
That's a caution. A lot of things just happened there.
Oh, no.
Hey, oh, they.
2 cars were on the lead lap.
Tom Sears, Daniel Michelle.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Questions on if that was a caution or not, but that...
I think it would have been, because that was Wanzing turned Cody Riggs. I don't know if Cody Riggs went completely around or not, but that was in traffic.
He was sideways.
We'll
take a look here.
Yeah, this is a car coming straight towards the camera.
So he kind of comes off the awkward on the corner, and then Wanzing on the inside. Riggs is on the outside. He does save it.
I mean, technically you can say it's a softer caution call, but with cars were perpendicular for a period of time. There was a moment where the track was blocked, so I get it.
Yeah, and technically that would be technically 2 cars, both the 9 and the 3.
Yeah.
It's a stretch, but it does make sense following the rules. But right now, this is really put a monkey wrench on everything. Because right now, Sears and Michelle will come out 1-2. Toby Estes just got the lucky dog. And
so that puts Estes in an even worse situation, because he's going to be at the end of the field.
Yes. And everyone else will get the wave around. Because he'll be at the tail end of the longest line.
Maybe.
Well, actually,
who knows if everyone pits? If everyone stays out and gets the wave around, then yeah, Estes doesn't necessarily lose on that. However, if there's lap cars that decide to pit here, then Estes will start behind them.
Oh, we see a couple coming in. Wanzing, Pinnell, Estes coming back in.
But Estes... Wait. Oh, yeah, Estes could come in because he didn't pit when he got the wave around, when he got the lucky dog. So that makes sense. Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting.
Well, right now, at the very least, Sears and Michelle, they caught the golden goose. But the question is, can they hang on to the golden goose? They will have the fresher tire advantage. Oh, I mean, right now, you can feel for Wanzing. He played it right. Strategy was perfect. And just an incident. Made one mistake, cut off 2.
Let's just flip the race on its head. Now, the interesting thing that would come out of this would be what would happen if all the lead lap cars chose the inside lane?
That could be a case, because I know Race Control likes to put the wave around cars at the tail end of the inside. So they don't get to choose. So basically be a single file all on the inside, at least going by protocol of Race Control. So anyway, we're getting to choose here. Sears inside, Michelle outside. That was pretty straightforward. Michelle's picked that high side for most of the day. Everyone up to Kruger is now going to take the wave around here. We're probably going to get an extender just because how many cars?
I'm really surprised that's the case.
So now choose effects. It's so Wanzing, Riggs, Featherplace, Purnell, Homebrink, and a few others. Donald Ray in there. They're going to be buffer cars for everyone that just took the wave around. All right. So, yep, they're all going to allow single file outside the 34 here. As per race control request. No envy race control as green pace car off, green flag in the air, and Sears gets a good jump. It's basically a three-car race between the 14, the 25, and the 29, bearing another caution. Wanzinger Riggs fighting hard for the lucky dog.
Well, laps to go.
Estes is there. That is basically bearing caution. Your winner is coming from the first 3 cars in the screen right now. Because the next car, Gaiman, is still not gotten through the meat of the pack yet. Currently paddling Austin Pinnell right now. 2 seconds back at this.
The issue for us is that he's got to go through Michelle and Sears with 10 to go.
He's going to get around Michelle here.
There you go. Maybe not entirely the case. Michelle get just enough room, and now they go in the wall.
They touch. Caution. Caution is out.
And that is a caution, and that gives Wanzing lucky dog. Gaiman's in it, and this is where the track blockage comes.
This is why you could have argued the last caution was called a bit prematurely just for that reason. Gaiman, the car in 4th, just ended up getting involved. So the car in 2nd and the car in 3rd took the car in 4th, and he is wrecked. This is just... So Seth Wanzing gets the lucky dog. We know that. Right now, Estes is probably going to have to pit. You can see him limping, trying to get home. Gaiman pits as well. So that's going to leave us right now on the lead lap. Sears, Reynolds, Michelle, Cody Pinnell, Feemster, Wright, Painter, Kruger, Mulkey.
Sears stays out, but there's no incentive for him to really come in.
No, none. Because he would in turn basically give up the lead to Michelle, and then the car is behind. So no reason for that Sears to pit here. Wanzing, you can see, getting the lucky dog.
This is wild.
Yeah.
Kruger, first car out of pit lane. So it's Sears, Kruger, top 2.
I know right now, hearing that, there's people in the chat going crazy. You got team boss and driver for the team, line power 1-2. Then you got Wanzing currently slotted in the 3rd. I am confusion right now, but we'll get this sorted.
This is going to be a wild restart. We're going to be coming to what I believe will end up being 5 laps to go.
Yep, they just hit 2 to go, so they'll get the choose next time by at 6, and they'll be going to 5. Now here comes the cavalry. There's Reynolds. There's Cody Pennell. There's Feemster. All lap cars are going to have to fall back.
Oh.
Here comes the choose. Sears low. I assume Kruger's going to go
high.
Reynolds low.
low. As is, that's the 50 of Cody Pennell. Feemster goes high, as will Briley Wright.
Mulkey low. And
Banner high. Yeah.
Michelle low. I get the call for Kruger. You want to be on the front row, but it seems like in the later restarts that inside's where you want to be. Second car on the inside can clear the first car on the outside with a good jump. But at the same point, it may be better for line power if they lock out the front row and time it right, because they're in the same chats. They can time when to go.
Yep.
We saw it. They tried to do that a day ago to not as good success. So this is their second attempt at it. Neither driver, look at that top 5, only driver to have a win so far this season is Tommy Reynolds. Looking at that top 10, only 2 drivers have a win. Reynolds and Michelle. A lot of first time. And Painter too. Yep, you're correct. One in Atlanta. So pace car going to take the left. Coming to 5 to go. Green in the air. Kruger did not get going per se. Sears does. And she'll slot in the 3rd. Battle for 4th between Pennell and Feemster. The only thing right now, I think Reynolds may have clipped the wall just a bit. That's going to allow Kruger to get on the inside. Tom Sears getting some breathing room.
Oh, keep an eye.
In the inside wall. 1 car, though.
For now. You see the frenzy of cars coming down the front straightaway. 3 laps to go.
I think Sears is hoping this stays green.
Yeah, 100% Sears hoping it stays green. Oh, car in the wall, it's Painter.
He keeps it pointing in the right direction.
Michelle also messed up going into turn 3, so Painter got to go back and slides it.
Oh, 2 to go.
Still sliding it.
Nothing up front changing. Top 3 hasn't changed. This will decide if we get a green-white checkered or not.
Trouble in the back straightaway. That's Painter.
And
the caution comes out.
Painter, Wansing, Holmbrink, just to name a few.
Overtime finish coming up. Cody Riggs a part of it as well.
Yep. So while we wait for that, get that replay just to cycle the top 5. It's Sears, Reynolds, Kruger, Pennell, Feemster. Now take a look at replay. We were watching it.
Oh, Painter just bounced off of better place, then bounced off of, I believe that was James Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
And like a pinball, you just bounce and bounce and bounce until eventually you break. Looking from above, Painter in the white and red machine. We're gonna look at it here. That's what you're looking at. I'll put it in slow motion. He bounces off the fetter place.
Then he's 3 wide.
Sucker punch 3 wide. They're black acid cars both sides.
And then
curb bounce off the wall into Painter.
Yep.
Painter into
right
Riggs.
Riggs then gets sent up the track.
Oh, no, it's not. Racing gets moved to the track. Ryan Pinnell just doesn't lift. And it sends Wanzing into Homebrink.
Mm-hmm.
It was just Ryan Pinnell trying to shoot the gap, and it didn't work.
Yeah, he doesn't come back up. That Pinnell snack sends him back down. And yeah, it was just 2 separate instances playing out. All right, so we're back to live action. Like we said, this is a green-white checkered. First of possibly 3 attempts if needed. Tommy Reynolds complaining of possible damage on the right front. Because he did smack it out of 3 and 4 with 5 to go, so that's 7, maybe a bit wounded.
Very interesting that they're making that information public.
I think he was telling it because he wanted to know whether or not he should pit. Well, that's why he was relaying it.
Well, now it's going to be in the heads of Kruger and Sears, especially for Kruger, who's going to try to make a move around Reynolds if there is damage.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I think Reynolds didn't want to have an incident where he gets stacks to the field, takes the whole field for a ride. He wanted to kind of warn or let know, or just know if there's any damage. There may not be any damage, but he feels like there's something. Sears going to go low. As we're at the shoes, Reynolds high. Kruger should go low here.
Yeah, and I feel
like, Cody Pinnell, though, going to go high. Take the risk. Yeah, really in the chat, Tommy Reynolds is having a bit of connection issue with Discord, so he's not in communication with his team either, so just trying to do what he can here. All right, first of 3 green-white checker attempts.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
First attempt at an overtime finish. It's Sears, Reynolds, Kruger, Cody Pinnell, Jack Mulkey, Kevin Feemster, Briley Wright, Daniel Michelle, Dustin Painter, Austin Burnell, and Seth Wanzing. 11 cars. All on the lead lap. Brandon Feder plays the first car a lap down if we need it.
Green flag in the air, and away we go. Reynolds gets a good launch.
Reynolds
that
had
thing
an
is wounded.
amazing restart there.
That thing is wounded. It's not showing. Sears and Reynolds side by side. Oh! Sears racing hard. Reynolds clears. Coming to the white.
Oh, doors open for Kruger. Side by side, teammates for line power. Kruger trying to get the advantage. Sears runs the outside lane.
Big smack in the back. Not good effect.
Mulkey got blocked. Mulkey gets turned up the wall.
But coming up the last
Reynolds corner. Wins at Dover.
Yep, he does. If he did have damage, it didn't affect him that much. Kruger brings it home in second. Sears third. Michelle fourth. Wright fifth. That will be your top 5 with Feemster, Cody Pinnell, Austin Pinnell, Jack Mulkey, Dustin Painter, your top 10. That was a finish. And there's Tommy Reynolds burning it down that 7. Honestly, I think this is one of those races he's wondering how he ended up winning it. But he got the job done, and he'll take that number 7 for his 3rd win of the season. Pulling him out of the tie he had for most wins so far in this season.
Well-deserved result there. That was wild.
Yeah. I think you said it best.
Crazy result. Tommy Reynolds, race winner. Out of Emma Kruger and Tom Sears, who put on a crazy block on Jack Mulkey. Mulkey got contacted by Kevin Feemster and got sent into the wall and ended up limping home to 9th place. Wild finish. Sees Tommy Reynolds extend his advantage in the season. We'll start interviews with the race winner. We'll hear from him after his 3rd win of the season, his 4th win in the A-Square Cup Series. Tommy, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Wild race, wild finish. Said you had some damage, was worried about it. But that finish couldn't have been any more picture perfect. A race win, 3rd time this season. Kind of just walk through, I guess, how you went through that final stage when the cautions became plenty, and obviously the strategy to get yourself into that top position.
I mean, I'm laughing because I should not have won that race. I'm gonna be honest with you. The whole plan I had from the start, I had seen it in practice. You kind of had to save a little bit, otherwise your right rear was kind of just not existent anymore. So, first stage, that was my strategy. Second stage, I kind of blew the tires off the car. The 3rd stage, it was kind of up in the air. I knew we had to pit at some point, and then I don't know what exactly happened. Somebody stayed out or pit early and put the whole field a lap down, and then that half got put in front of the leader. I don't know. But all I know is that I ended up in like 4th or 5th place after that. That next caution came out. I pit, and I almost got screwed over, and I don't know what happened. Then I ended up coming out 3rd or 4th, and I knew I had fresher tires, and I saw Tom take off, and I thought it was over, and I realized I had cold tires. But I knew if we got another restart, I would have him, and that's all she wrote.
Obviously, it's been an amazing start of this season. 3 race wins, and you're racking up bonus points for the playoffs. This time last year, you were a part-timer. Like, we weren't sure where you were going to end up, and it wasn't really until after Sonoma that you really began to even think about playoffs. Now it's not only thinking about playoffs, but now you're thinking Championship 4 already with the bonus points that you're accruing, knowing how they carry over. Being able to win in races like these that are super difficult, how does that kind of play out for you as far as the rest of the season goes, as far as your confidence being able to just continue to go after wins and possibly set the record for most wins this season?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I wish, but it's going to be
you got 3. Jeremy said 7.
Yeah. Oh, really? All right. I thought it was a lot more than I thought it was 10, but yeah, I mean, it's mostly about accrued bonus points. I hope we can. If I could stay in the top 10 the rest of the season, I mean, it's going to be a good season. We'll just say that. But as long as I keep with these bonus points, I'll be happy. I mean, I could stop race wins right now and finish in the top 10 with bonus points the rest of the season. I'll be happy. So, big picture is the regular season championship at the moment. So, we got half our points taken away, or half my points lead taken away last race because of a couple crashes. So I haven't even looked at the points yet, but I'm hoping we got most of it back.
Obviously tonight, a big night. Obviously a good night for Bandit Racing. Briley finished in the top 5 as well again the night. Before I let you go and let you celebrate with the rest of the team, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Tommy, the floor is yours. 4 career race wins, 3rd this season at a track that many people would like to forget about. You've tamed it tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think I could ever use this paint scheme again. I think it's cursed now. So, but yeah, no thank yous. But thanks again for the great broadcast.
We appreciate it again. Tommy, congratulations on your 3rd race win of the season. Points leader still, extending that margin over Brandon Fetter Place, who finished 12th tonight, so definitely extending that gap.
Yep, thank you.
Tommy Reynolds, race winner. We'll hear from 2nd place finisher Emma Kruger here in just a second. Obviously, a phenomenal result for her. First really phenomenal result for Kruger this season. Well earned, well fought positioning here for the Belgian-born driver. Emma, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, hello.
Alrighty, first time we've been able to talk to you on the podium here in the A-Square Cup Series. What a phenomenal result it is. 2nd place, and you looked really confident out there being able to make moves, especially at the end of that race. Kind of just walk through those final restarts for you and how you had to handle them.
Yeah, that was incredible. We got caught up in a lot of incidents, like at the start of the last stage. I think we went overall during the race like last to inside the top 10 like 3 times over all 3 stages. It was pretty nuts, but we got lucky with some bold strategy with the last caution there, or the second to last caution, 3rd to last. I can count. I don't know what I'm saying. I was not in my wildest of imaginations expecting to be in 2nd right now, but yeah, I felt like we had the better long run pace than everyone around us. And in the short run, it felt pretty decent as well. So I think overall, we had the pace. We weren't there for most of the race, but we were there when it mattered. So yeah, good stuff.
Obviously, you think about, you took 3 weeks off and you've come back to this series sort of in a little bit more reinvigorated, and then you get a result like this at a track that's notoriously difficult no matter what you race here. How much does that mean for your confidence as far as just how you are adapting and learning this car, and obviously working with the team? Obviously your team boss finished right behind you in 3rd. How much did that break help as far as just like re-energizing you, and how much does that result help as far as the confidence of, okay, you're getting this and there's progress being made on the line power side of things?
Yeah, pretty good. I've done pretty much nothing but stock cars the last like 4-ish weeks. So I'd say I'm learning this pretty well, boosting my confidence definitely. I sort of knew going into practice that like I just needed to be cautious. I needed to save my stuff, and it really helped, especially in the long runs. So I think that's something that I can bring forward into the future, especially on tracks as difficult as this one. But yeah, I think we're moving forward in a good direction.
Obviously, tonight was a very, very big night for the team. Obviously, for you, your best result in the series so far. At a track that's super difficult. It's called the Monster Mile for a reason. Before I let you go and let you celebrate with the rest of your team, though, if there's anyone I want to shout out and say thank you to, Emma, the floor is yours. Again, welcome back to the podium.
Yeah, I want to thank Lily for being there the entire race, sort of making the strategy calls and getting me through all of the chaos. I want to thank Line Power, thank Tom Sears for taking me on, and believing in me, even after some of the mistakes I've had and missing a couple races. But yeah, I think we're moving forward in a good direction. But yeah, and also thanks to everyone in the chat that's supportive of me all the time. It's been absolutely insane. I love you all.
Well, it's a phenomenal result tonight for you, Emma. Enjoy it. Obviously, we'll be seeing you next week. But obviously, phenomenal result. Enjoy the second place finish. Best finish so far in this season. But still a lot of races left to get that first win, Emma. Enjoy it.
I appreciate it.
That was Emma Kruger, our second place finisher here this evening. We have one more interview coming up, and that is that of Lurkin' Tom Sears. And he was lurking for most of this race, sat and waited for most of the calamities to take effect. But boy, oh boy, how'd he got it done. Phenomenal race for Tom Sears. We'll hear from him here now. Tom, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You get a copy.
Copy that.
What a result. Obviously, you look at just how much work went into getting to where you were tonight. 2 cars in the top 3 between you and Emma Kruger, and a good chance at a race win. How was tonight for you as far as just finding that momentum again, and obviously kind of just walk through those last few restarts, and if you could have done anything but different there?
Yeah, was just hanging around middle of the field most of the race. Got stage points towards like the back half of the stage points, both stages, and figured I would have to figure some kind of strategy out to get to the front. So when that other caution came out, nobody pit besides me and Dan Michelle, and that gave us 20 laps of gas and tires on the field. So then under green, it put us in a really good position. I was 1 lap to the good when that 181 caution came out. So definitely used some strategy here today. I mean, sometimes that's the only way. Oops, sorry, that's my dog.
You're good.
And she's got a lot to say. But used some strategy there, and then at the end, really was in a good spot. So I had the freshest tires still amongst all those cars at the front. So just missed a shift on that last restart, and wasn't able to capitalize on that great strategy. Still got a podium, two cars on the podium here, but definitely a disappointment. I thought we should have been 1-2 in that situation. So we'll look and see what we can do better, so we can avoid missing shifts.
Obviously, tonight was a huge night, obviously, for the team as everything sort of just unfolded here. A double podium, still a very good night. Obviously, you talk about Brandon Fetter place, second in the points. Lion Power's very much still in the fight here. You look at the next few races coming up. Obviously, what races kind of stick out in your mind as being the possibly a really good example of where Lion Power can kind of make that next step forward?
I mean, look at the schedule. What's next? Well, we got Kansas, so that's the last race before the cutoff there on driver roster changes, and we'll see what everybody in the league does on that day. It should be interesting. And then North Wilkesboro, I think that's a really tough track, and I think we're gonna see a lot of drivers struggle at North Wilkesboro. So interesting couple weeks ahead of us for sure.
Obviously, tonight, a really good night for the team. You think about just how difficult this track has been, and you almost pulled away with your first win of the season. Obviously, a phenomenal performance for that 14 crew and for Lion Power all around. Before we let you go and let you celebrate with your team a double podium result, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Tom, the floor is yours. Congratulations on another podium.
Thanks a lot. Just want to thank you for broadcast. We really appreciate all of the broadcasts that you're doing. I feel like it's been a while since I've gotten the booth after the race, so nice to get back on the podium here. I just want to thank everyone at Lion Power. The team is working really hard to produce some results there. Shout out to my beautiful fiance for letting me do all this crazy racing, and shout out to this dog that clearly needs to go outside. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations, Tom, and obviously we'll be seeing you next week at Kansas.
Yeah.
That was Tom Sears' third place finisher here this evening. Phenomenal event and a phenomenal result for Line Power here. Just all around a phenomenal effort. Kevin, you've got the results for us. Read us off how everything finished here.
Yep, I do. We got finishing off the list here. Let me just quickly get that scroll to the top. There we go. Tommy Reynolds ends up your winner here with Emma Kruger finishing second and Tom Sears rounding out your podium. Further down the field, we got Daniel Michelle in fourth and Bradley Wright in fifth, rounding out your top five. Kevin Feemster in sixth, Cody Pennell in seventh, Austin Pennell in eighth, Jack Mulkey in ninth after that incident on the last lap there, put him down to ninth position, Dustin Painter in 10th, and Seth Wanzing finishes 11th out of your lead lap finishers. Going down the field, we got Brandon Featherplace in 12th. Toby Estes going to be kicking himself. Another one slipped through the cracks, even though not due to a technical failure this time. Will finish in 13th. James Kerr will finish in 14th. Cody Riggs in 15th. Jonathan Holmbrink in 16th. Alex Simkowski in 17th, Donald Ray in 18th, Joshua Gaiman in 19th, Stefan Oberstadt in 20th, Ryan Pennell in 23rd, Jeremy Paleo retiring on lap 174 in 22nd, Matthew Leiter in 23rd, Alfred George 24th, David Wright in 25th, and Joshua Garrison will round out the field in 26th position.
Tommy Reynolds extended his points gap. 3 race wins on the season. Those are bonus points for when we get to the round of 16 later on this season. Brandon Featherplace retains second place in points, but the gap is beginning to grow at the top of the points table. That'll do it for us here on a Sunday evening here on ABN. We appreciate everyone spending your time with us on a wonderful Sunday evening. Tomorrow night, it's HTL Cup Series action from Talladega, the elimination race to the round of 12. We hope to see you all there. On behalf of everyone here for ARCS, for Darkside Mustangs, Midwest Barbecue, and Wendy Chevrolet, and everyone here at ABN Esports, and my co-commentator Kevin Young, I'm Carmen Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have a good week in advance, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow night at Talladega. So long, everybody.